The Toronto Huskies and Minnesota Lumberjacks are on the ice here at Scotiabank Arena. Both teams suffered 7-6 losses in their last games. Minnesota lost to Chicago in regulation in what was a wild game. And Toronto lost in overtime to New York in what was an even wilder game. Two wild 7-6 games. We'll see if Kucherov can continue his MVP stint. Currently, if I can pull up the stats, Kucherov leads the league in goals with 12 and leads the league in points with 14. But guess who's second? Owen Tippett of Minnesota, who is wearing their cedar red alternate jerseys for the first time. Meanwhile, Toronto just goes with standard white. We'll see what happens. I'm expecting two angry teams, and I'm expecting a high shot volume. I'm talking like 80 shots each way. Here's the face-off. It's 1 to Toronto. Shot out of bounds. First shot of the game already out of bounds. And guess what? It went past our barrier and long that way. So, we'll go ahead, cut the cameras. We'll be right back. Never mind, it did hit our barrier, so we are off to a really great start. So the first shot of the game wound up out of bounds. I'm actually going to make a really fast adjustment to our barrier. There, that's a little better. So now more pucks won't get caught in it. It'll hit it and come down. There, so we're all set. 4 seconds into the game, and 6 seconds into the game, we've had 2 pucks go out of the rink. Eventually, what we might have to do is set up netting, you know, along this part of the rink. These corners will have to stay open so I have room to put my hands to play the games. 2 saves by Toronto starter Kaden Primo. They went with Primo in this game after Fedotov gave up 7 goals in their last game. Meanwhile, Minnesota goes back to Jonas Korpisalo. In the middle, a stop is made. It's tapped back to Kucherov. Stopped again. And Miroshnichenko, another save is made by Korpisalo. Here's a shot by Moore. Save. He gives it off. Turned it over. Shot! Kucherov is stopped. Rebound. 2 saves by Korpisalo. Now he threw it away. A chance and a score! What a shot from distance by Owen Tippett. We talked about him in the pregame, and he just roofed it bar down on Kaden Primo. 49 seconds into the game. A fast goal, and it's 1-0 Lumberjacks. A bad turnover by Kucherov. Tippett made him pay. And I'll tell you one thing, our right wingers have been awesome. Face-off is 1 to Kucherov. He gives it out, turned it over. Bongiovanni missed the net. Now Kucherov in the back, giving his team a chance. Miroshnichenko, another save is made by Korpisalo. Kucherov to the middle. Nelson a chance, another save. He's trying to get back on the scoreboard after he was held pointless against New York. A shot for Tippett, a save. Rebound, 2 saves by Primo. And now, another save there. They both get a stop. Bad announcing. Bongiovanni, Moore, blocked out of bounds. As I said, we were expecting high shot totals. We are 83 seconds into the game, and the shots are already 9-8 Toronto. Primo makes 2 saves on the wingers of the Lumberjacks. Miroshnichenko over to Kucherov, deep in the corner. Kucherov takes a shot, a save by Korpisalo. Rebound to Miroshnichenko. He gets stopped. Bongiovanni is denied, and they stop the clock for some reason. I don't know why. It's running again, though. Nelson is blocked. Rebound offside on the play. And they'll tap it into the corner. Miroshnichenko is lucky that he didn't run into Tippett. Otherwise, it would have gone from bad to worse for the Huskies. 3:13 left in the first, and a save by Korpisalo, and it winds up out of bounds. Face it off up along the far side. 3:10 for the period. Face off. Goes to Miroshnichenko. He's blocked by his own teammate. And then Kucherov has it. He walks up. Korpisalo makes a stop. Has it back in the middle. Nelson. 2 saves. Making a block. near the goal. Knocked away by Primo. Kucherov fires, no. And now here's Bongiovanni and a save. Now in the middle, Nelson. Another stop by Korpisalo. It's dumped back into the corner. Here's Kucherov in behind. Kucherov plays it out. Morostachenko, a save by Korpisalo, and then another save by Primo on Moore. Kucherov to the middle. Nelson, nope. Another stop, and it wound up in the net on the bounce. It's no goal, and then Primo shot it in the net. Uh-oh, another goalie confrontation. Oh, here we go. Now this time it's a brawl. Everybody's in on the action. Nobody was a fan. You saw Korpisalo charging at Primo, and there is just not a normal day in PHLL. We're going to have some ejections here. The original confrontation was Korpisalo and Primo, and then everybody else jumped in, and everybody else. Oh boy. And now the officials finally break up both teams. Oh boy, we still got a Husky going at Lumberjack players, and they're all ganging up on him into the corner. And here comes everybody else. We're still going at it. Pretty much everybody is going to get ejected from the game at this point. I think everybody's going to be gone. And now the officials trying to sort it all up. They're still going at it. They get the Huskies away, and they do get the Lumberjacks away. The brawl is over. This all stemmed from Caden Primo shooting the puck into the net after the play ended. So the officials are going to talk this over, and we'll come up with a ruling. Okay, all penalties have been sorted out. After all of that, we have a ruling, and I really don't think Toronto fans are going to like this. Here we go. The official ruling on the initial altercation, Caden Primo has 30 seconds for unsportsmanlike conduct for shooting the puck into the net deliberately after the play. Minnesota number 70 has 2 minutes for roughing for charging at Caden Primo. And then both teams are handed coincidental bench minor penalties. Then, the secondary altercation. It was concluded that number 63 of Toronto, Ivan Morostachenko, he provoked the secondary altercation by going at the Lumberjacks. He gets an additional minor for instigator, and then another minor for unsportsmanlike conduct, and he has been ejected from the game. It's a game misconduct. In addition, the Toronto Huskies organization has been issued a warning, and the Lumberjacks will also get a warning. So both benches have a warning that next altercation there will be more ejections. That's a warning. So, Ivan Morostachenko has been ejected. And we're waiting to see who they will send in as the substitute for now. We're going to the penalty monitor. So, the first penalty is on Primo. He gets a minor penalty, half a minute for unsportsmanlike conduct. The next penalty was on Korpisalo. That'll be half a minute. Toronto gets a bench minor penalty, so they're sending a guy to the box, they're sending another guy to the box. So Minnesota sends Kucherov, or Minnesota sends Bongiovanni, and Toronto sends Kucherov to the box. Okay, so it looks like we have our update. Toronto is sending in Carter Mazer as the new left winger for the rest of the night. The next penalty is a bench minor on both teams. So it looks like, and for some reason I am bots running, we will take care of that. So with the bench minor penalties, they're just going to send... Okay, so it looks like Toronto is sending Brock Nelson to the box. And then Minnesota is going to send Oliver Moore to the box. That's funny how both centermen are numbered 11. So they both get penalties. And then Toronto gets a little more disciplined than that. So now they're sending out the substitute skaters. It looks like it's Justin Dowling for Toronto. And for Minnesota, that would be, it looks like Scott Lawton. So those guys will play center. And then Toronto, number 63, he got kicked out of the game. He got 1 minute. And he got kicked out of the game. So that's the final penalty count. You can see, so the bench minors are coincidental. And by the way, I did make a mistake in the Chicago-Montreal game. It should have been Morgan Frost and not Scott Lawton. That was a mistake. A mistake on my part, and hopefully that'll never happen again. So, everybody getting sent off. Miroshnichenko ejected. And you got new players out there. So Carter Mazur is the new left winger. So he's gonna serve. Actually, they've run out of room in the penalty box. They have totally run out of space in there. Look at that. Look at, oh my goodness. The Toronto penalty box is full. So they got a guy in there for 1 minute. Wow. So it's going to be 2-on-1. They'll face it off in the Minnesota zone with 2:36 to go in the first. Miroshnichenko thrown out. So it is just Scott Lawton at center. And Owen Tippett on the right side. Meanwhile, at center right now for Toronto is Justin Dowling. So a bunch of subs in the game. Anyways, the face-off is 1, a shot, save, rebound, stopped and out of bounds. 2 shots there for Tippett, who is the only starter left out there. That's insane. We'll face it off again in the Minnesota zone, and there's a shot. Primo made the save, and they have no choice but to pass back and forth. And it's back up. Nelson a chance. Or excuse me, no, that's Dowling. To the middle, a stop, and then a save, 2 saves, and they have no choice but to pass back and forth again. This could lead to an own goal. A lot could happen here. A shot stopped, and I think they just wanted to kill all the penalties. Everybody's going to come out of the box at the same time, and yep, here they come. Everybody's coming out of the box. It's a little bit slow operation on the Minnesota end. They have a power play right now. To the right side, a block shot. Kucherov is back out there on the ice right now. And on the left side right now, I think, who is that on the left side? There's a save. I think it's Nicolas Delorier. I don't even know anymore. That one was on net, no. And here we go, 4-on-4. Penalties are all killed. My goodness, that was a lot. That's the first major brawl of the season. So we have 4-on-4 until the next whistle. It's back to Mazur, and a shot, another stop made. And now up for Tippett, another stop. Man, I am really discombobulated. This first period has taken nearly 40 minutes because we had to sort out penalties and ejections. A stop there by the goaltender Primo. That shot was blocked on the way. We're still 4-on-4. When we come back, I'm going to have to go back and look at video. Shot off the bar, and okay, there we go. So the substitute skaters now are being sent to the box. Nelson came out of the box from Toronto. So they sent the substitutes back, so we're back to normal. Except now Carter Mazur is at left wing for Toronto. You had him in the box. So out there for him, I think, was Nicolas Delorier. I don't even know anymore. I'm completely confused. Like, we're going to have to review the first period footage, and that's going to make, the first period probably take nearly an hour. Kucherov across. That bounced away and a shot off the post. Here's Mazur. He fires, save out of bounds. I mean, this first period has taken nearly 45 minutes. Face-off one in the corner. Mazur now on center ice line. A shot, save. Again by Jonas Korpisalo. And then turned over to Wyatt Bongiovanni. Another save is made by Primo. In the middle, Nelson. Off the bar. Face-off will come along the near side. It's one, and Kucherov missed the net. Now a save by Primo on more. Rebound, Bongiovanni is denied. And now a shot by Tippett. Another save by Caden Primo. Sitting on the goal line, knocked into the corner. And then it goes to Mazur and a save. They have it back. Kucherov hit the bar. They have it back as it stays in bounds. Mazur, another stop. And the clock, of course! Now we have to do a clock review. I hate this. There's 11.5 on the clock. The officials decided to not. They were going to look at the clock, but they're not going to do that. So they're just going to face it off. Face-off is won by Toronto. He nearly threw it in his own net. There's a missed shot. It's on the line. Toronto wins the puck. Nearly threw it away. Pass back. Period's over. Now, league officials are discussing right now. The period is over. The doors are opening. I don't know why. They're putting the puck back on the line, and both teams are leaving the ice. Folks, both teams normally just go back to the benches between periods, and they're not putting up the interval clock. This game might be over. They might be calling this one. And, okay. I'm getting the ruling. So after several altercations, administrative confusion, and a clock issue, I just got the ruling. This game is unable to continue fairly and accurately because operational control has totally broken down. Due to multiple significant on-ice altercations, player identification complications, penalty administration complications, and an operational timing malfunction affecting competitive integrity, PHLL officials have ruled the contest between the Minnesota Lumberjacks and Toronto Huskies as a no contest. So this game has been cut off after one period, and the stats will not count. So, no official stats are recorded, no goals, no assists, no penalties count, no standings impact, and the game will be replayed at a later date. We don't know when that will be. However, Miroshnichenko's discipline still stands. He still gets the game misconduct and the first ever PHLL ejection. So, because we've lost all competitive integrity, and this game has taken this first period took about 50 minutes to complete. It took forever. Tonight's game is a no contest, and it will be replayed at a later date. Thank you guys for watching. We apologize for not giving you a full game today. We'll see you soon.